Everybody, Todd Denkin here with TNMNews, and I'm here for another Todd Talk with none other than Sofie Sassafras. And who is she, of course? Well, she's a ReeferPinup, and she's also known as Sofie Sassafras. She's a full-time 420 variety streamer on Twitch, and she is striving to eliminate the stigma of cannabis through visibility, education, and entertainment. Her passion for the plant is rooted much deeper than just consumption. She's had experience as a licensed grower and caregiver from Missouri. She has taken extensive online courses focusing on the life cycle of cannabis and how to navigate legislation. The Herbal Chat has become her main outlet for eliminating stigma. It is a live streaming talk game show highlighting ganjapreneurs and their businesses and how cannabis can be beneficial to their success. She plans to take her show and travel to all the recreational states highlighting cannabis culture in the United States. I think we're up to 38 legal states. And when she's not behind the screen, she enjoys high elevation hikes with her two dogs, Bing Crosby and Franklin. She is also our newest correspondent right here at TNMNews, and you can definitely check her out at TNMNews.com. Sofie Sassafras, welcome to TNM News.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. How are you today?
I am well. Thanks for joining us and sharing with us today. Let's just get right into it. I just want to know from the beginning, where are you from? How'd you end up where you are now? You're in Colorado, right?
I am. Well, I originally grew up on a small farm in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So quite a haul. Did the 4-H thing, was active in community service out there, church born, raised, all that, home-fed grass, beef,
Yeah.
cattle. Then I moved in my early 20s to Kansas City, where I lived there for about 10 years and started Sofie Sassafras, ReeferPinup. That started off Burlesque, and actually ReeferPinup started as a clothing line
Oh,
to
really?
eliminate the stigma. So it's been a lot of things before it became what it is today. And then Kansas City for a handful of years, and of course, moving out to Colorado to chase that weed dream. So
Oh, nice. So it was Colorado to actually participate in whatever was happening weed wise, huh?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of immigrants, right? A lot of weed immigrants moved over to Colorado when that happened.
No
Um,
doubt.
what drew you to cannabis?
Growing up Catholic and a small town, like huge stigma. We didn't even have alcohol in the house really when growing up. So we never talked about it. It was never anything like I didn't even really, I guess, know about it. But the first time I did consume cannabis was once in high school with a friend. But back then, I'm gonna age myself. It wasn't the best. It was brown and bricky and seedy.
How it all used to be.
Right. I know. Well, I know, but it's so weird doing my show because I'll have people from like their 70s and in their 20s, and it's weed culture has changed.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah.
But I hear you, sister. It was way different when I was, uh, in my 20s.
Right. So I guess I mean like I didn't really like feel it or any that whole time the first time it's like is it like what is it like so then I guess I didn't really start doing it every day until I was in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found like I feel like a lot of people now my age, we all have like this undiagnosed ADHD
Right.
or like we're all coping with a bunch of things. So I feel like in a sense that cannabis really is a medicine for me as most people.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I didn't really start smoking weed until I was 18. And it did the same for me. It just took me from my stress level here to about here, and then it helps me focus, right? So,
Exactly.
right, and back when we were kids, there wasn't ADHD; it didn't exist, right? Right. Um, And as my kids grew up, certainly all of a sudden everybody had ADHD, but I'm the same. I cannabis really helps me to get through the day without choking somebody.
I mean, I know a customer service right here,
Right,
That's another thing.
right. That's for sure. When did you think that cannabis could be a career for you?
Um, so for a point there, like I said, it started off as a clothing line, and my whole goal with it at that point was I was really tired of seeing like Marilyn Monroe with like a joint and guns, and it was just I just didn't like that aesthetic. Like I've always like more vintage style clothing, so I wanted to like create images and clothing with like more friendly imagery than smoking and guns and thug like. So I wanted to give it a better name. So my early 20s, I started that venture. And then I was still doing burlesque and creating and producing shows. So every show involved an element of cannabis. I even worked with the local normal chapters and some other advocacy um, advocacy groups to be more visual with it. So just the whole my whole 20s and on has been like a whole evolution of being an advocate, and we finally come up to where I'm doing the streaming, and that started during the pandemic because I was creating these shows, and the last show that I did was at a theater right before the pandemic shut down. It was a vendors mart and variety show, and I had over 17 cannabis involved vendors plus variety show that was centered around cannabis. So after that, I had been shooting photography out of my apartment, and it was mid-mod, ReeferPinup, kind of empowering women doing makeovers. And I had a friend at the time who came over and was like, why aren't you streaming? Like your house is completely like made out decked to the nines for it. And you have public speaking skills. Like, why aren't you doing this? And I was like, well, I don't have the equipment and every other excuse. So 3 months later, he brought over a refurbished computer, and it's kind of been history since then. A couple months after I started doing it, I was affiliated. I just really liked it, really like making the community and
Right,
growing.
right. And that's how you started the Herbal Chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tell me about your Herbal Chat show and what the goal is and what you're trying to accomplish with that.
Okay, so the Herbal Chat is a 420 advocacy talk show that I am currently doing weekly, where I bring in folks. It's more like Denver area just because it's easier for them to travel and be
Sure.
present. So it's just local right now, and they come over to my in-home studio. We chat, it's 3 segments. So the first segment, we chat about getting to know them, how cannabis was perceived growing up, how they like to consume, basically just like shooting the shit to get to know them. And like, so it's
Kind of like we're
interactive.
doing here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So it's interactive, and we have, like I said, folks from all over the world who have joined me, who've been following me for 2 years plus. So they interact with the guests as well. So it's kind of like a cute little round table that we have. And
Nice.
so after that segment, we do a flip of the scene, and whatever that guest is doing, I I only ask my guests to be cannabis activists on this show. They don't have to necessarily work in the industry. They
Right.
usually are entrepreneurs of themselves for something. So next week I have a drag burlesque person coming on. Yeah, and she's an activist and loud about cannabis. So she'll be on, and we'll talk about her. And she's actually going to do a makeup demo on me for that show.
Right.
And then the third segment is the game wheel show portion, where I made this 420 game wheel where we play some games.
Nice. Nice. And tell me a funny story with one of your favorite guests that you've had on the show.
So lately I've been playing Bong Kong with all my guests because the game wheel's still under construction and looking for sponsors. So um so we've been playing Bong Kong, which is essentially beer pong. But it's the cups are loaded with like take a rip, eat an edible, do a dab. So it's just really comical to see the whole show. Like that is the longest portion. Everybody loves it. Everybody gets into it on stream. It's hilarious.
Nice. And you just started a new show as well, right? Called Hers.
Yeah, her.
That's a woman focused cannabis show. It's on Discord, right?
Yep.
Um, tell me what that's all about and why that's important to you.
Okay, so yes, I recently launched hers, Herbal Entrepreneurship Reporting Showcase. So it's about women, it's focused on women, it's through my Discord, and I'll live stream it on Twitch as well. What that is I'm finding women all over the industry to talk about themselves, to talk about their experiences. And what really drove me to do that was my own personal experiences in the industry as a female. We know like we know the stigma, we know that, you know, it's kind of like anything in the world, like there's a lot of misogyny in it, and a lot of sexism. So I for a really long time was just fighting that and was just like, I'm not going to be one of these women that are like such an extreme feminist, and you know, like I'm like, that's just how life, like my whole life I thought, well, that's just how it is, that's just how it is. But as I'm evolving more into this public figure and really taking everything to the next level, I am dealing with it even more so that I'm just really tired of it, and I feel like we need to find the camaraderie in women and lift everyone each other up.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I'm a big supporter of women in cannabis. I've been part of the organization for a while. I'm in Las Vegas, and I run a testing lab also, and I have 19 employees, and 14 of them are women. So I'm a big supporter of women in cannabis. I've also interviewed lots of women in cannabis, and I want to get your perspective on that. What do you think draws women to the cannabis industry? Um, because I've seen a lot of there is sexism in every industry, right? And women don't get paid as much, and I'm all for all that equal pay and all that stuff. But there are very successful women in the cannabis business, unlike other industries. And a lot of women are drawn to cannabis. Why do you think that is?
I think it's just the plant is really feminine.
Yeah.
And so that really draws women to it, the whole nurturing of a plant and growing it and taking care of it. And again, the the things that it can do for women, you know, moms, you can still have a puff and be functional with your kids. You can, you know, there's just so many things that the plant does for us. Cramps, you know, it leaves that. So I think just the whole, it's like another sister for us. It's just
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
the plant just goes with us.
Right.
So
Right. No, I agree. I That's what a lot of women say. Also, I just wanted to get your perspective to see if it was kind of a common theme, right, throughout many of the women that I've interviewed over the years. Um, Herbal Chat, is that a weekly? And what do you have coming up?
so yeah, so that the herbal chat is now booked out till August every
Awesome.
Monday.
That's great.
Yeah, it is awesome. So yeah, so I have my, well, right here.
Great.
So we have Penny Spectacular. She's going to be on this coming Monday. I'm really excited to have her. She's a personal friend. When I was doing burlesque and first moved to Colorado, we kind of linked up because of the cannabis aspect. So yeah, I'm really excited to have her on. She also is a Twitch streamer. Let's see. Then after that, we have Better Days Delivery coming up, which is a delivery service here in
Sure.
Colorado.
Mhm.
Just let's see, a photographer, some bud tender, cannabis medic. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's really all things cannabis, right? And all things
yeah,
women, right?
yeah.
Nice, nice. I like it. So you mentioned something. You were a burlesque performer, right? And a producer. What kind of burlesque shows did you do? And did you ever incorporate cannabis into your acts?
Always.
Nice.
So I started off doing burlesque in like my early 20s.
Mhm.
Growing up in Michigan, there's a family legend that my great grandma used to run around with Al Capone's crowd. So kind of have some mafia blood in me, as legend says.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, so I again was fortunate to be able to produce shows at venues that were more private so we could do more heavy themed. We like obviously didn't consume inside the buildings and stuff,
Right.
but we could do more heavy themed shows. So yeah, so just always would always want to have a vendor there that was either a glass blower or I do, you know, we've done numbers, group numbers to a bag of weed from Family Guy. I've had normal people come speak at some of my shows. So
Nice.
yeah,
I am here with Sophie Sassafras, also known as Reefer Pinup, right here on TNMNews. And you do kind of have that 50s kind of vibe about you. Do you know what I mean? You have that look and you know, you fit right into that, you know, retro sort of vibe. Um, uh, Talk about your inked campaign and what's going on there.
okay, awesome. We are in, okay, so Inked Magazine, if you're familiar with it, it's a tattoo magazine, lifestyle magazine that comes out. Um, so there's a competition going on right now. The winner of this competition gets a tattoo by a very famous artist, gets a photography session in the Bahamas with another very famous photographer. But the topping that everybody is really most excited about is the $25,000 that comes with the first place. So I, as Todd had mentioned, have a dream of taking the Herbal Chat on the road. I really, really, really would love to buy an RV, would love to win this competition, buy an RV and take the Herbal Chat and my streaming on the road to every recreational state and highlight cannabis there for everyone and educate people and help it be more mainstream than it really is. So currently we are at the one of the final cutoff rounds. This thing's been going on forever. It's the top five. You have to be number one to go to the next round. So currently in my group, I am fourth. I need to be number one to make it to the next group. So please get out there and vote. I'm sure I'll drop some links.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where do we vote at? At Ink Magazine?
So it's a very specific, like it's so weird. It's a very specific link that you need to go to it. Like you can't just go to the website and
Right.
find my link. So if you go to any of my social medias, you can find the link there. It'll be easy for you to find.
Great, great. We'll also put the link at the bottom of the where the text is, way down there.
Awesome.
So look for the link and give Sophie Sassafras a vote. Do you have a favorite tattoo that that you could show us?
So my favorite one is on my back, and
Right.
it's of my dog on myself. I used to have a dog that I competed all over the country with. Her name was Ella Fitzgerald. We did Doc Dogs, and so it's just like this 50s style on a beach in a pinup swimsuit playing with
Nice.
her on the water.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But isn't a back tattoo more for other people, right?
Guess what?
Than for
The thing
you?
is, I am so sad. Like, I'm like, I wish it would be a chess piece because, like, it's my favorite piece and I rarely get to see it.
Right, right. I was walking around the mirror trying to get
I
an
know.
angle, right?
But I just admire it from afar. Yeah,
Right, right. You see yourself in photographs, right?
right.
That's nice. Yeah, I'm a big dog person too. I have a bunch of dogs here at my house, and yeah, dogs are great. And you like hiking with your dogs. You mentioned in your bio. I guess there's a lot of stuff to do like that in Colorado, right?
Yeah, I fortunately live like more on the west side of the Denver metro, so really close to Golden and less than 30 minutes from the mountains.
Yeah,
So we go up there a lot.
nice, nice. And tell me, since you're in the heart of cannabis, right, in Denver, Colorado. Um, what are your thoughts on the state of cannabis today? You know, you moved out there several years ago. You've seen changes, you've seen growth, um, not only in Colorado but all around the country and for the world, for that matter. So, what are your thoughts on the state of cannabis today, and where do you think this industry is really going?
You just a loaded question. So being okay, so
Fire away.
I know, right? Let me get on my soapbox. So,
Yeah.
so being from Michigan and growing up Catholic and conservative, never really like exposed to any of that, right? So Colorado is the first recreational state, and I have to say, being a transplant, being here for as long as I've been here for, I am really kind of disappointed in the cannabis hospitality industry here. I really feel too that, as much as we're taking steps forward, we're also taking so many steps backwards. For example, more states are making it rec, but at the same time, we really need to do something on the Fed level, or else it's never, ever, ever going to change, because we're seeing that we can't even advocate for cannabis on TikTok, on Twitch, or on Instagram. That's where Twitch is a really great outlet for me, is because if it's legal in your state, they kind of let it fly. And there's a great hub of 420 streamers there. So if you guys do want visibility and want to see some change and stuff, I feel Twitch is a really good platform. But back to that, like, again, it's not where it should be, in my opinion, at this 2024.
Right. And where should it be?
It should be legal. It should be federally recognized, not recognized as a law breaking thing, but more as a medicine and as
the devil's lettuce. Really?
I know, right? All these things. And first, we need to eradicate the word, I'm sorry, but we need to eradicate the word marijuana, which is something that they totally put in the law it's just one of those propaganda things.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna, there just needs to be more advocacy. And unfortunately, some of the people who are advocating and trying to do these things still don't understand that there needs to be a better face for cannabis before people will actually accept it as medicine. When we're still just doing the recreational, thuggy kind of aesthetic, that's not going to work for cannabis. So
yeah, I think that the faces have changed, over the years, and I think the faces of cannabis are getting more well known. They're getting more famous, right? For sure. And I think they add to the to the viability of a mainstream product, because that's really what it is, right? It's been a black market mainstream product for 100 years, right? And now it's finally coming into light, and people are coming out of the shadows. Don't you see that happen too?
I do too. Like, Martha's like, hey, I'm cool with weed. Like she's got her own CBD line. Like, so yeah, I agree with that. It's nice that those people are coming forward too and helping out with that stigma.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. When do you think federal legalization might happen? In your lifetime, or quickly, or is it going to take a long time? What are your thoughts on that?
I still think that it's going to be a while. Honestly, I don't even know if we'll see it in our lifetime. And another concern is when it does go federally legal, like, the nicotine companies going to ruin our medicine,
Oh, 100%. It's like, then what?
I know, right?
Right.
So it's
right.
like
It's kind of be careful what you wish for, right?
exactly, when that happens, like, do we want that? So there's a lot to be considered on the future of cannabis.
Yeah, I think that I think you're right. I think federal legalization will be a minute. I don't think it's going to happen in this next administration. And I'm shocked, really, that some young and hungry politician doesn't just jump on the bandwagon and
Right?
just change the country. I'm a big believer in hemp and what hemp can do to our country too, and I believe that hemp or corn farmers should all be shifted to hemp farmers, because corn is useless and hemp is not. Right? Hemp is useful, right? The government can still subsidize, and we could literally become a manufacturing country again, and really create things and make things for the rest of the world the way it used to be. But hemp is cannabis is ugly sister, right? And it's difficult for the hemp farmers as well. So you think it's going to be not even in our lifetime federal legalization?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
Interesting.
Do
Um,
you, do
well,
you, how do you think that will?
I do. I don't think it'll be this administration, but I do think that's my dog barking in the background there.
Mine was just,
Yeah. um, and but I do think it will happen within the next 10 years.
okay.
And I think that that time is needed to really create the legislation, right?
Okay. Also,
And
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna agree with you too, because we also need to get all these being, what happens is like we just need these people to kind of
yeah, the
expire
boomers need to
before.
die. The old white
Yeah.
guys need to die. No, I hear you.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe in 10 years once they're all dead, I can see
Yeah. Coming
it.
from an old white guy, that's what I I mean, it's I'm not the normal guy, but yeah, there are a lot of very conservative boomers that don't want to do it. But the biggest lobby against cannabis is law enforcement. So there has to be some buy-in from law enforcement first, don't you think?
Yeah,
The lumping in of cannabis with heroin and
I know,
cocaine, and
right? It's
it
not a
just
class.
it just doesn't make any sense. And you know it really does take voices from everywhere to stand up and champion the movement for sure. It's interesting that this industry was built on advocacy, right? Tell
Right.
me why you think that's so important.
Uh, it's kind of like we're going through the prohibition right now with cannabis, like in, like alcohol. So it's really important that everyone, I chuckle because sometimes I think, what am I doing? Like, am I really doing anything?
Right.
But I am, and it's cool to see it. It's cool, I'm getting visibility for these independent companies that are, trying to grow and get visibility. And I have changed folks' mind on consumption. And so, it's really important that everyone does what they can if they care about the plant. And I really feel that a lot of people who are users now, more so now than ever before, are more vocal about their usage.
Yeah.
So it's great to
Yeah,
see.
yeah, we've all come out of the closet because it's okay, right?
Right?
You know. Um, so you started a new column here on TNM News. We're very excited to have you on board. Talk about what you plan on talking about.
Okay. So you guys are awesome, by the way. Thank you so much for picking up my column.
Of
And
course.
I know Mel and I have been talking about putting some of my other stuff up there for you guys too.
Good.
So really excited. Yeah, I have been doing for about a month now, this 4N20 review. So it's basically any canna-centric product, you know, stash boxes, edibles, flour, anything that has to do with the culture of 420. And I do a little review on it. And at the end of each review, I do a 4N20 segment where there's 4 categories and I do a 1 to 20 scale. So we do things, yeah, just the visibility. Is it trying to eliminate the stigma? So I'm picking products too that I think fit also elevating cannabis and trying to eliminate the stigma.
Right. Right. And what has been your favorite product that you've reviewed thus far?
I have to love the Buzz Box. They're a company from Canada that I've been working with, and they are just so nice. And that product has been amazing. Like I'm a joint smoker, so it's awesome to have a
Me too.
place. Yeah. So yeah, it's been my favorite. It's right here. They actually laser engraved my logo on the top of it. So that's why it's my favorite, probably.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you here at TNM News, and we have lots of viewers and lots of folks who do get involved. Definitely on the Facebook page, but on the website as well. We're happy to have you. So we can find you here on TNM News. Where else can our viewers find you?
Uh, Twitch, Instagram, anywhere you can find the handle ReeferPinup, I'm probably there.
Right. So it's at ReeferPinup.
Yep.
Great. And website too, same.
The website is a milkshake lake, so it's anywhere, and like on my Instagram and stuff, you can find the link there too. So
Awesome. Awesome. So make sure you check out the Reefer Pinup, also known as Sophie Sassafras. She got a couple shows and really advocating for the plant. She's certainly an advocate for women in cannabis, as am I. And so make sure you check out hers. Make sure you check out your other show, right? It's Herbal Chat,
the
right? The
herbal
Herbal
chat.
Chat. And it's over on Twitch, right?
Yep.
And you can get there through her Discord channel as well. Look for her at ReeferPinup on all the socials, and you know she's all over the internet, and she's spreading her love. Also, check her out on Inked magazine and give her that vote so she can get that Winnebago, right, and travel around and do that show. That sounds like a lot of fun, traveling around from state to state and interviewing folks.
Wouldn't it be
Um,
awesome?
yeah, it's kind of like the Cannabis.
Right?
Yeah, that travels around and does that. So say you win the Winnebago or the motorhome tomorrow, right? What's your first stop?
Uh, I've thought about this. Ideally, like I would have loved to start at the Emerald Triangle and like, you know what I like that would have been so cool, right? But then I'm
Yeah,
like thinking about the cost and everything, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So wherever I'd load it up here and probably just start off in Colorado,
Yeah.
just kind of get my feet,
Sure,
into it.
sure. All right, awesome. Anything you want to add or you want to share with folks?
No, I just really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me today.
Of course. Well, thanks for being available, and thanks for joining the TNM News team. She is Sophie. I'll get this right by the end of the
No one ever
but
does.
right, really, that's funny. It is kind of
Don't
a
feel
tongue
bad.
twister.
Don't feel bad.
Okay, it is kind of a, it's funny because even before we started, I said it. I was like, okay, I gotta say it. Sophie Sassafras. Sophie Sassafras. That's funny. No, but it is a bit of a tongue twister, but worth learning how to say it properly. Sophie Sassafras. You can also catch her at Reefer Pinup, and she's here for us to answer questions, to entertain, and to educate. I'm a big fan of cannabis education because I believe it turns into good legislation. And that is what we need. So check her out, like I said, at Reefer Pinup. I'm Todd Denkin with TNM News. Also, check her out right here at TNM News. Sophie, thanks for joining us here. And we will see you online, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.